Deshaun Watson and this NFL. Guy Reffitt, or however you pronounce his name. Child bye. Georgia residents can claim they embryo on their state taxes. Okay. Beyonce said, be gone. Yes. Nicki Minaj, girl. Nope. Says yes, honey, in the box office. And so much more on this episode of Break It Down. Generation X, that was formerly the baby boomer. All right, so first I want to start off by saying I had posted on my Instagram page, and if you do not follow me, I suggest that you go and follow me on Instagram at the Melanin Maven, and on TikTok at the Melanin Movement, MVMT. Same thing on Twitter. Make sure you subscribe to this channel as well. So I posted a few days ago on my stories a video of Wendy Williams, and she was parked someplace and she was talking to paparazzi, and she was showing off her ring to paparazzi, and it appeared that she was struggling to formulate her words, almost in a stroke-like or childlike manner. And I do not say this in jest. I do not say this with any type of humor in my tone. Something is not right with Wendy. Something is going on with Wendy Williams, and I don't know what it is. Something has happened to her where it seems as if her mind and her mouth are not connecting. And it almost seems as if if anyone that is watching this video has ever experienced a family member, a loved one, or a patient, or anyone that has had a stroke and saw that video, then you would be like, oh, now I see it. Now, she wasn't slurring her words, but it was almost like she was trying hard to get words out or to formulate thoughts so that they can come out of her mouth, if that makes sense. It was very scary, because obviously we all know Wendy as the mouth. Like, she's always had something to say. And the fact that she is at a place now where it doesn't seem like it's that Wendy, it seems a little scary. So I wanted to get that out of the way before we even started the show, because of the fact that Wendy is someone that, even though she has made enemies all across the board because of her style of journalism, she has still made her mark on the industry and on this culture. I still have to give her kudos and her flowers. And I think that it's so, I don't want to say Freudian, but I really think that it's, it's very strange that she's at a place now where someone that has made their living on talking, on being the voice, on being the mouth and having so much to say, and now to struggle to speak, it's sad, but I just wanted to put that little bit out there. But so yeah, that's that. So anyway, so Deshaun Watson is back in the news because of the fact that he has a 6-game suspension from the Cleveland Browns because of more allegations. Like my man literally, and see, this is on some Bill Cosby stuff. So previously he had 24 allegations of sexual assault. He had 24 lawsuits filed by women who alleged sexual harassment during massage treatments in 2020 and 2021. And he settled 23 out of those 24 lawsuits. 2 grand juries in Texas declined to indict Watson on criminal complaints brought by 10 of the women. So the fact that he got away with that and was put back onto the team and able, see what happens when you can run? Can we talk about that, people? When you got an arm? Can we talk about that? All right, so according to the Associated Press, the NFL is seeking an indefinite suspension of at least 1 year plus a fine in appealing a disciplinary officer's decision to suspend Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson for 6 games for violating the league's personal conduct policy. A person familiar with the filing told the Associated Press. The person speaking on condition of the anonymity because the matter isn't public knowledge also said that Watson would be required to undergo treatment before he could be reinstated. The league initially recommended an $8 million fine and asked during settlement negotiations for at least $5 million plus a 12-game suspension that never materialized. Another person involved in the talks told the AP. The NFL appeal gives Commissioner Roger Goodell or someone he designates authority to impose a stiffer penalty. League spokesman Brian McCarthy said it's still to be determined whether Goodell or someone else will hear the appeal. Now, the problem that I have with this is clearly Deshaun has a 6-game suspension because of his behavior off the field, right? The fact that Deshaun has settled out of court with 23 out of the 24 women and has been allowed to get back on the field simply because he's able to throw. He got a good arm, but yet, like 24 chicks and you settled out of court with 23 of them. It's not saying that you were innocent. It's saying that you settled with 23. So what is that all about, Deshaun? And what is that all about, NFL? Are you actually co-signing bad behavior? What does this really mean? What does this really mean? Is this a culture in the NFL? Is this the culture in sports? As long as you're making money for teams, as long as you're putting butts in seats, in stadiums, in arenas, anything goes. Is this what we as a society deem is okay? And I know that the answer to that is yes. And I say it over and over again. We literally put somebody in office that says, and when you're a celebrity, they let you do whatever you want. You can grab them by the puss. I moved in on her like a bitch. That's what the president of these United States said. And he is the most revered by some of these people. And he spoke openly behind closed doors when he didn't know that his mic was hot. Feeling hot, hot, hot. He's on fire. He's on fire. Feeling hot, hot, hot. He didn't know that his mic was hot. Coming in hot. But he said it. And then his people, his whole camp doubled down on it. Oh, it's locker room talk. That's Cleveland Browns locker room. That's Roger Goodell locker room talk. It's locker room talk. It's all right. You say what you want, do what you want. As long as you're putting butts in seats. Do better. Next up. Speaking of a certain president that admittedly sexually assaulted women, one of his staunch supporters, Guy Reffitt, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, Guy Reffitt. I think it's Guy Reffitt. But Guy Reffitt, he is one of those who stormed the Capitol on January 6th. He's the first to get the longest sentence in this January 6th mayhem that has literally taken over the news cycle in this country. He has gotten 7 years, a whopping 7 years in this country. Meanwhile, people that have gotten caught, my brothers and sisters that look like me that got caught with weed, have gotten longer sentences than that. I just want to put that out there. You know, I want to break that down so it can forever and consistently be broken. Okay. So Guy Reffitt, on Monday, who was a fan of Donald Trump, according to ABC News, he tried to storm the U.S. Capitol while armed with a gun. Now, I don't know if open carry is legal in the District of Columbia, but he had one on January 6th. Yes, he did. He was carrying. But as far as I know, open carry ain't in D.C. You can't do that in D.C. D.C. ain't that type of district. So he was armed and he was sentenced to more than 7 years in prison after a judge denied the Justice Department's request for a terrorism enhancement that would have resulted in a lengthier prison sentence. So I want to know, what judge is this? It was terrorism. Like, what world, what dystopian reality is this judge living in? That was terrorism. But anyway, so Reffitt was the first January 6th offender to go on trial, and his own son actually tipped off the FBI a couple of weeks before January 6th, but didn't hear back until after the attack. Thanksgiving gonna be rough. Yay! Woo! I tell you, Father's Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, Rosh Hashanah, Mother's Day, Yom Kippur, all of them, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. The son tipped off the FBI. The government had an enormous amount of evidence against Reffitt, including his friend's testimony that Reffitt was carrying zip ties and that the duo had made a decision to carry guns because they'd rather be tried by a jury of 12 than carried by 6. And there you have it. And then the judge talk about no to terrorism? Okay, that's not the big part of this story. No, the big part of this story is his daughters. The daughters say that if their father gets all of this time, then Trump should be sentenced to life in prison because he was the one that radicalized their dad. Boom. And they said this in front of national television cameras. And the wife, let me tell you something, the wife, honey, you know, because they Texans. You know, Texans, I don't know why they don't just secede from the union, because Texas is a different state. Texas is a different state. They do not abide by the rest of the U.S.'s, you know, code of conduct. They don't do that. But the wife got up there in front of and you know, her haircut was bad. She looked like, you know, she could be in New York by the way she was dressed. You know, she was real, you know. And she was just like, this is a travesty, you know, talked about how my husband is a patriot. You know, she stood by her man, but that's what you're supposed to do. But your man got radicalized, boo. Your man got radicalized. I'm sorry. And any person, let me explain something to you, Lucy. Any person that gets radicalized, and not only radicalized, but radicalized by someone as whack as Trump, you gotta kind of question, because Trump is just whack. He's whack. I'm sorry. Anyway, whack. I wouldn't even want, like, he ain't even like a good dude to be like, yo, that's a good, you know, like I could see us hanging out, you know, I'd never be, I would, we could never be friends. Nah, we can't do it. Anyway, next up, Georgia residents are able to claim their embryos on state taxes. SCOTUS and them, they got it. They got gen, and the. They got them 3 words, gen, the. So, SCOTUS has said that your body is not yours, and you gonna go and have that baby. And while you having that baby, you can go and claim your baby on your taxes. So under Georgia law, according to WAPO, Washington Post, fetuses now have full legal recognition as living people. That means their parents can claim them as dependents on their tax returns, even before delivery. The state's Department of Revenue said Monday that it would begin recognizing any unborn child with a detectable human heartbeat as eligible for the Georgia individual income tax dependent exemption, amounting to $3,000. Taxpayers must be prepared to provide relevant medical records and documents if requested by the department. I don't know. I got nothing. I got nothing. Anyway, on to the next. Like Swiss Beat said, I'm not going to do this with y'all. I'm not going to do this with y'all. So Nicki Minaj, let me tell you something. Her peoples was just like draw 4, draw 2, skip, reverse, wow, skip, draw 2, draw 4. Oh no. Let me tell you something. So Nicki Minaj's apparent former assistant has some choice words for Miss Minaj, because apparently she pissed her off. Let me tell you something. She had pissed her off in a way that I don't think Miss Minaj was prepared for. But the thing about it is, Nicki has clearly had situations where she's pissed a whole bunch of people off, and she's come across as one of those people. You know one of those people I'm talking about. She's always come across as one of those people. And I guess this assistant is just like, we're not doing this. No, Lisa. Mm-mm. We're not going to do this. So this assistant, Kate Miller, and listen, Nicki is from Queens. She's from Queens, New York. And I also resided in Queens. I've lived in damn near every borough. So I rep Queens too. Jamaica, holla. But I don't know. Well, let me read you what she had put in her stories, okay? And then you tell me what you think. Okay. All right. So let me make sure I'm doing from the she said, you don't hire nannies for a reason. You don't want them seeing what goes on in that household. And I've been dying to talk about how you treat your staff behind those curtains. Essence, for example, you complained about ice for almost 30 minutes and called Stacy a fat bitch for getting you crushed instead of cubes. You're always late because of you, not us. The reason the documentary is taking so long is not because of creative patience. It's because HBO Max got tired of waiting for your ass and cut the contract. Now you're on the hunt. And you know what? Part of me feels that Nicki has that diva attitude, like, I don't want crushed, I want cubed ice. Shave my ice into little triangles. It has to be just, like, I honestly, I don't like crushed ice either. But, if somebody got me crushed ice, it's not the end of the day. It's hard dealing with, a lot of staff and a lot of different personalities. But I remember when Nicki and Remy Ma had the beef, and Remy took shots that she got from Meek Mills. It was just a bad scene. And obviously hip hop is all about, it started off with the whole battle rapping and going back and forth with sucker, and that's why I'm always talking about sucker MCs. But it just seemed like she strayed away from the essence of the hip hop, and then got involved in a little too much other diva stuff. I mean, she's still a New Yorker, so I'm still give her kudos because of the fact that New York, it's just there. It's just there. But on another note, Nope killed in the box office. Nope said, yes, honey. Come on, son. Let me tell you something. When we come through, when we walk through, come on. When we come through and we say what we do, how we is like, yes. Peele literally did it again. It crossed $80 million in the box office. And it was in the top spot. You understand what I'm saying? And it did get cut out from that top spot by DC League Super Pets. DC League of Super Pets, and that's with Kevin Hart and The Rock Johnson. But still, my man Jordan Peele and Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya. Come on, son. Like air, we rise. But shout out to the cast and the director of Nope. because we say yes. I haven't seen it yet. I honestly haven't seen it yet. I have not had the time to go and sit down at a movie, but I definitely am going to see it. I am going to see it. So, who want to go to movies? Y'all want to go to movies? Let's go to movies. Let's go see Nope. And now we got to go see DC League of Super Pets. So we got to do a twofer. So anyway, kudos to y'all. Okay, last but not least, B said be gone. The sample of Milkshake was used on a track called Energy off of the Rennaissance album. And Beyonce is just like, and this is how I see it. And I could be wrong, but this is how I break it down. If you don't agree with me, then oh well. But this is how I see it. Beyonce is literally at the top of her game. Nobody is on B status right now. Y'all can say Beyonce can't sing. Y'all can say Beyonce ain't that great. Y'all can say everybody is better than Beyonce, but nobody is hanging with Beyonce when it comes to status, when it comes to performance, when it comes to just everything that she puts into the process. Beyonce has literally paid her dues. Y'all don't have to agree with me, but she's paid her dues. So if she's going to be using a sample, yes, she gets clearance. Beyonce is going to get clearance from whoever she's going to get sampled, but she's not going to call up each artist that she's getting clearance from. She's not going to personally. Beyonce ain't at a status where she got to be like, yo, JoJo, can I get clearance on the song from you? Nah, she's not at that status no more. Her team, whoever's making the tracks, calls up whoever or gets clearance from whoever, and then she says, okay, I like it. And then she's like, okay, if she's trying to promote women empowerment, if somebody's going to hear Beyonce's song and they hear your whomever's voice or sample on her track, that's paying homage to that person. That's paying homage to that person. And then that person in turn will get clicks or get downloads or get, because people always want to go and say, oh, well, what's the original version? Because I know that's what I do. Every time I hear a sample, I'm just like, I'm Googling, okay, well, what's the original version? And then I go and download the original version. Instead of there being an open beef about a situation, why don't we as a people take the beef inward and not to the masses? Because that issue could have been worked out better. That issue could have really been worked out better. And, you know, because of the fact that it wasn't handled properly, because the person that made the track probably felt slighted. So because they felt slighted, so now they have been slighted. So now you're not making music like that anymore. So now whatever notoriety or extra promotion or push you would have gotten is now gone, because she was just like, you know what, this is unnecessary drama that I don't need. You know how many people I could like literally highlight on my album? I don't need to highlight you. Okay, ladies, let's get into formation. I'm just saying. Miss me with the bow. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Love you guys. Mwah. Until next time, I'm your girl Chaya, and I will be here to break it down.